What's up, everybody? This is Ryan, and I'm back with some more ParanorMAIL for you guys. I've been kind of busy lately, but I am getting back into the swing of the ParanorMAIL now. So anyway, today I've got one, though, that's really cool. This is a story that was sent in by one of you guys, and it involves a Ouija board. And I just want to say, before I start reading this, that if anyone is going to mess around with one of these, then research it. Do it properly. There are proper protocols for using one, and just make sure you're doing it safely. That's the main thing, or as safely as you can. Take as many precautions as you can while messing with one. But that being said, we'll get into this because this is wild. But you'll have to excuse me. I'm having to use my auxiliary phone for this because I forgot to charge up my other devices. So, sorry. Let's see. All right. Starts out, it was the summer of 96, or better referred to as the summer of hell. I can't help but to blame myself. After all, I've watched plenty of horror movies to know all the basic rules, but even then, I ignored the most important one. I was young and curious, so attracted to anything horror. I played with a spirit board by myself, and if that wasn't enough, I had chanted spells that I found in a spell book written in another language. Probably not ever a good idea to do that. Just as a side note, if you don't speak the language, don't chant things in it. Just be on the safe side. Okay. Frustrated at what I thought was a complete fail, since nothing had happened, I continued on with this dangerous combo. A few days had passed and things began to change. I started hearing strange sounds. For each night that went by, the evil entity became more aggressive. Some call it sleep paralysis, but I know it was an evil force holding me captive. I can hear the growling in my ear and the voices as it whispers to me, calling out my name. I was terrified. I fought so hard to have just enough courage to open my eyes, and then fear would strike again when I would witness with my own eyes a hooded shadow figure by my bed, and shadow figures darting in and out of the wall while calling my name. It was getting worse. I can now feel it touching me. It actually touched my foot. It wouldn't let me sleep, and it was as if I was getting stronger. I was so scared, and knowing it was my fault, I didn't want to tell anyone, especially my father. All of my family had warned me about tampering with spirit boards. I no longer felt safe in my own home, and every chance I got, I tried to go somewhere hoping this thing wouldn't follow me. I distinctly remember several occasions where the evil had followed me. My aunt had asked me to stay with her and her family during the week to babysit my little cousin while she worked. I had fallen asleep. Something disturbed my sleep. I opened my eyes to the light above me flickering on and off. I immediately left the bedroom and fell asleep on the couch for the rest of the night. Another night I had experienced the same exact thing, but this time, as I left the room, I heard whispering coming from my cousin's bedroom, which was located right next to the living room. Confused and terrified, I started to wonder if it was my cousin that I had been babysitting, only to find out later that day he was sleeping with his parents in his parents' room the entire night. I knew I had to dispose of the board, and when I did, I heard a voice later that night say, "I will come back." Eventually, we moved, and I began feeling safe again. The activity still happens from time to time. I realized later that this thing wasn't a part of the house. I summoned it, and it is attached to me. I thought I was losing my mind until one day my older cousin had visited. She also is a believer who has had her own personal experiences. We were exchanging stories of strange events, and she distinctly heard heavy breathing coming from upstairs. We both looked at each other, and she noticed my dog turn towards the direction of the stairs, and she heard it too. She had lived there prior to me and stated that she's never heard that during the time of residency there. I threw the board away, put it in the garbage. Yep. Making sure that was it. That's it. So, that is a good example of what happens to a lot of people when they dabble in things like that they don't understand. I know it's a very common thing to have, to experience something like sleep paralysis when shadow figures are around. That's something that has been reported a lot. So, I don't know if I really don't know a whole lot about shadow figures. I mean, I've listened to people talk about them and things like that in certain interviews and stuff, but I couldn't tell you anything about the origins or anything like that, which is something I may start researching and do a podcast on. But nonetheless, shadow figures are creepy. I have seen them. But I know that sleep paralysis is one of those things that is reported a lot with shadow figure encounters. Also, feeling like you're being held down, like on your chest or something like that. That gets reported a whole lot too when shadow figures are encountered. So I don't know, but anyway, I really appreciate this story, and it was very interesting to me because it kind of goes along with what I've always heard about things like that. But Ouija boards in general can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. If you're trying to do things that you shouldn't do with them, I mean, you're opening a doorway, you're opening a gate to let something through, just to have free reign in this world. So be careful with what you do and what doors you open. So anyway, that's about it for right now. So I appreciate everybody watching, and leave me some comments and let me know what you think about this. And if anyone else has had a similar experience or anything that you guys want to share, please send it to me. I'll be glad to share it. And remember, I keep you anonymous unless you want me to state your name. Either way is fine. So that's about it. I appreciate it, everybody. And I'll be back with you guys really soon. Take care and stay safe.